Hey, book lovers, welcome back to Shelf Addiction, the podcast where we dive deep into the pages of thriller and fantasy reads. I'm your host, Tamara. But first, a quick heads up. If you crave the full visual experience and want to ditch the ads, head on over to our Patreon. You'll unlock ad-free video episodes, exclusive after shows, and other bonus content. Spotify listeners, premium content is available there as well. Want even more bookish banter? Join our community over on the Book Clubs app, and don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening. And speaking of community, I am thrilled to welcome back my fantasy series bestie and co-host Casey from Heartful of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. As always, we're going to have some good stuff to talk about today.
Yes. We'll have fun today. Let's just say we'll have fun.
Yes, we will have fun if nothing else. You guys can count on that. We have a good time regardless of what the book is. So you can find the links below to follow me and Casey as well as the podcast in general. So click around, do all the things. We appreciate you for doing that. Before we begin, I want to remind you that we discuss full spoilers here during book chat. So spoiler alert, you've been warned. Today, we are discussing These Immortal Truths, written by Rochelle Retta. The audiobook is narrated by Olivia King, published March 11th, 2025 by Tora Books and Macmillan Audio. The ebook is 322 pages, and the unabridged audio is 10 hours and 3 minutes. Casey, would you kindly read the synopsis?
Shape-shifting God, a divine peach, and a woman gifted with forever. Anna is used to being hungry and hardship. Ever since the pale shadows on her skin were mistaken for leprosy, she has lived alone in exile, each day focused only on survival. Then a single act of kindness towards a beautiful stranger changes her life forever. Suddenly, her body is as untouched by time as it is by harm, and Anna experiences a new freedom she has never known. But as decades and centuries pass, the lives of everyone she meets slip through her fingers like grains of sand. Everyone except Kiran, the shape-shifting God who gave her immortality. No matter the years or distance, she trusts that he will always return. Yet there is more to immortality than Anna knows, and as she travels the ages, she will discover beauty and danger of a life without Ed.
Before we get into our high level, I would like to know what drew you to this book. This is your selection. Please share with us.
I'm sorry. First of all, I'm sorry. I was looking for something different. And I can honestly say that this is very different from anything we've ever read. And I was hoping that there was going to be an actual plot and real consistent danger to Anna based off of that blurb. So when I read the first chapter, the sample chapter, where she eats the peach, I was like, okay, maybe this is just a slow start and we're going to get into it because it started in 11:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it started very early. I was like, okay, it's the beginning of her immortality. We're going to get into it. And I was hopeful. I was excited. There's a lot of 4 and 5 star reviews. The writing in the first chapter was enough to make me say, okay, I think there's really good potential here. I picked this based off potential. It did not meet any of that potential.
Well
and I
said.
am very sorry.
Apology accepted. I couldn't have said that any better. We have been aggressively trying to find hidden gems, like aggressively trying to get out of our box and find some unique things. And this is unique. I'll say that.
The premise is very unique. Yes.
Though, okay, so let's get into our high level. High level, what were your first thoughts when you finished the book?
Was there possibly going to be a sequel? Or is the sequel going to have the entire plot that I wanted from the start?
The sequel is going to be, okay, so toward the end, I noticed that we are getting closer and closer to our current time. The book slows down in time jumping at the end by like decades instead of centuries. So I'm like, okay, obviously we're getting closer and closer to like modern times. And obviously now it seems like Kieran has decided to give this a go and they're going to face the first. So I think the second book is going to be them trying to defeat the first or try to like make it so that they can be together without
Yeah.
any repercussion of his actions. That's my guess.
And again, like, that's kind of what I assumed book 1 was gonna be.
Mhm.
Like, I thought the first, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 chapters would be her settling into immortality. Then, you know, before the midpoint in the book, we would actually get into, like, the real plot and the first coming out, but they didn't mention him to, like, 70 or 80% of the way
Yeah,
into the book.
very close to the end, yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, then what was the point of book 1?"
Book 1 was a elaborate,
Prologue.
exaggerated history, walk through
Mhm.
history. Like, I literally was like, okay, we were in World War One. She participated in the Underground Railroad. She went to South China. She was like at the book burnings in Berlin, during that. So we walked through history. Every important like thing in history, the Black Plague, all these
Black.
things. And I thought this is just not what I signed up for. Like when I looked at the synopsis and then I looked at the tags, I saw romanticy and romance as in the top 3 tags. And when I finished the book, I'm like, that is not a romance to
No.
me. That is not romanticy at all. I'm like, what is this exactly?
We've been lied to by the tag.
Yeah. And I'm like, I feel like honestly, when that was over, I'm like, okay, well, I know where the story's going, but it's going to be another snooze fest. That's instantly what I thought. The second book is going to be another 70 years of them, because obviously, unless she goes into the future, which I doubt. So it's going to be 70 years of them, decade by decade, trying to figure shit out, I guess, which is going to be a snooze fest. That's instantly what I thought.
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
I cannot tell you how many times I fell asleep while I was reading this. It was so many times.
Many times.
I'd be like, "Oh shit, I fell asleep."
Doing the thing where you're reading, but your brain is somewhere else, and you have to
Yeah.
go and you turn the page, and you're like, "Wait, what was on the last page?" And you have to go back and reread the whole last page, and I was like, "Oh, no." I probably read this book twice just, like, based off of having to go back and reread pages.
Yeah, I hate that for us and everyone else that read this book. Now, I do feel though at the same time, we'll get into all my little issues with everything as we go on, but I feel like overall, I was trying to think about this earlier this morning. I'm like, inherently, the book isn't bad per se. I didn't think that the storytelling ability was bad, if that's the right thing I'm trying to say, but there was no excitement or it was like a drudge just to get through it all. There was nothing that kept me hanging on for the next good thing. And at some point, I honestly was like, how many times is Anna going to get attacked? Can we
All the
have a
time.
can we stop?
All the time. Of
Can we
course she
stop?
has to get attacked all the time from every man. No, okay, so it's first of all, it's passive voice, which is I try to teach my authors don't write passive voice, but this is like very, very passive, where she's just describing Anna's actions to us. So we're
Mhm.
not experiencing the story with Anna, but being told the story about Anna.
Mhm.
The little snippets at the top of each chapter heading from his point of view, kind of describing what is going on in his brain, is
Mhm.
the most annoying spoon feeding. Here's how much he loves her. Here's how much he feels betrayed by her. Here's why he's just madly in love with her in 3 words, which is, again, passive. You're spoon feeding the reader everything instead of letting them experience it. And
Mhm.
we didn't need any of that. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, if she wrote the story in a way where we were experiencing it through Anna instead of being told what Anna is doing, we would have seen all of this through her eyes. We didn't need those little short paragraphs at the start of each chapter to be like, oh, he feels hurt and betrayed by her.
It was
He's
ineffective.
yeah, he's hiding his bruises from her. No duh. We
Yeah.
see that. If we don't need to be spoon-fed. I think
Yeah.
that was the you're right. She is a good writer in the sense that, like, the sentences were very pretty, they're very eloquent, like, she's obviously studied writing, but it's so passive
Mhm.
and spoon-fed that what's the point of the book? There's no real danger, there's no goal, there's no plot. The character development, again, is being spoon-fed to us
And
where
we
she
don't
is
even get to experience them falling in love. We don't get it. Where is it?
no, they're just, "Oh, I've been in love with you forever, and it's, like, time and ingrained on my bones, and now let's have sex for a year." Like, that was not a relationship. That was not
The way Kieran showed up to, like, give her food or help her in random ways is,
mhm.
like, parental,
Yeah,
not
very
sexy.
parental, older brother,
Yeah, not sexy.
not sexy.
No. He treats her like a child, the way he, like, won't tell her things, and
He
I
treated her
feel
like a
like
child. She
yeah,
was 800 something years old, and they're still like, "Oh, you little innocent baby, you don't know anything. You're so young, you're still a child." You don't know what you want in this world. You don't know how to live and survive in this world.
yeah.
You're only 800.
You're
I
only
don't think
800. You're a
Jesus
baby.
Christ.
Yeah.
How old does she have to be before you finally respect her as an adult?
I don't know, a lot older than that apparently. Well, I guess maybe now. It seems like maybe now at
But
the end.
why? What
I don't know.
changed? He
We don't
left her
know.
alone for 13
13 years.
years, and
Yes,
all of a
13
sudden
years.
everything is different?
Yeah, and the crazy part is, to me, the author kept making it where, like, the longer that time passed, Anna just got over her issues. Like, she just suddenly understood his point of view after being left alone for 13 years, which I kind of found irritating. I'm like, "Wait a
Yeah.
minute, so"
That's not real character growth, that's, again, her
yeah.
spoon-feeding it to us.
Mhm.
She's saying, "Yes, now is the time for Anna to change, so now she has changed."
Yeah.
Like, but why? What prompted that? What made her sit down and reflect? What is this character growth?
Arts and crafts that she did and
Playing with the bees?
beekeeping, I don't know, but there was no self, I guess, discovery other than like, "Oh, I realized I wasn't really living for myself. I just was taking care of everyone else." I'm like, "Girl, oh my god."
For 800 years, you just walked
Yeah.
around the earth taking care of other people and called it survival, and now that you're alone in his house with some bees, you're happy?
Yeah.
Like,
Basically.
that's it. That's not character growth.
Mm.
Again, that's telling and spoon feeding to the reader and making a story out of this where there was so much potential. And that again, that's why I'm so disappointed because there's always so much potential. And I haven't
I
read anything about book 2 yet, but based off of this and where it ended, this should have been a standalone book.
yeah, I
She should have
agree.
cut out half of this stuff, brought in the first by the midpoint, and then had the second half of the book them fighting him
Mhm.
and be a standalone book.
Yeah,
It did not need to be 2 books.
right. I agree. I think throw another 100 pages, make it 400 pages, and get us to the end. That's all we needed.
Yeah.
Just get us to the final end. I think ultimately, I don't know what the author was going for because whatever it went over my head, or I'm not the audience because I don't understand the 5 and 4 stars. Like, I don't understand what everyone is loving about it. Like, I think I just don't know. Like you said, there was no action. Like, what is the plot here? What are we doing? What's the beginning, middle, and end? What is the end game? What is the
Huh?
conflict exactly? There was none of that. So I'm like, are the people that love this just all about romanticizing history in a way that
I guess.
I don't know. I don't understand
I don't
the
either.
positive. Yeah, so I'm like, maybe this just wasn't, and again, it kind of like anytime I see historical anything, I kind of shy away from it. I don't naturally enjoy historical things. I have enjoyed historical things in the past, but it's far and in between. Usually it's not my thing. But when I saw, oh, fantasy, maybe this might be enough, or, the point of view on this might be enough to grab me. But it just didn't. It was just, I don't know. And okay, so kind of like to switch topics just a little bit. I was getting my hair done yesterday and I was explaining this book to my hairstylist. And I'm like, trying not to give spoilers in case she wants to read it, but I kind of gave her the high level gist of things. And she said, like Eve? Like the Bible? I said, what? She said, yeah. And then she, like everything I told her, she came back with, she's really into church. She's Christian. She's really into church. She started telling me like exactly what the Bible says. I said, I guess you're right. I said, it does seem like that, especially at the beginning, which was the part I was talking to her about, and her having to to discover who she is and have new trials and all this stuff. And she's like, that is like Eve. I said, oh my God, I didn't even
Telling of the Bible, but I've never read the Bible, so I don't know.
I didn't even make the connection. And I too am not I'm familiar with the Bible, but not where I can just like reel off scriptures and remember specific things. And I'm like, you're right. And that made me like it even less. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but it just totally drained whatever slight enthusiasm I had while explaining it. That just like popped the bubble immediately.
but that makes sense because it is very, in what little I know, it feels very biblical now. Like, yeah, she ate the peach and now she is
Yes.
the innocent mother protector who never falls in love with anybody,
Yes.
never does anything with anybody ever, but takes care of the children and
Yes.
sacrifices herself for everybody.
Yeah. And then, so she goes, and then the guy who gave her the peach is the devil. I said, oh. And then later, hadn't got to the part yet where Kieran says all the names that he's been given, like Loki and these
Yeah,
other
one of them is
things.
Loki,
I'm
and
like, shit. I'm like, she's right. She's right.
God, I'm so
It just,
sorry.
that just really deflated. I mean, I was already kind of really mad about everything already, but after that, it just really tanked everything for me after that. I was like, just let me get through this because it
Right?
put on a new, different glasses for me
Huh?
when reading it. And I kind of was just like, oh my God. Oh my. Don't know. And that's why I'm like, what? Again, I come back to, I wish I knew what the draw was supposed to be. Was it the romanticizing of all of these horrible things? Fate, distance? What about it was supposed to make this a time over time love story? I don't know.
Either, and I don't get it. I genuinely like. There's no overarching plot line. There's no overarching goal. She is just the Mary Sue who sacrifices herself for everybody constantly. Anytime
Mhm.
she sees a little kid, she has to go save him. Anytime she
Mhm.
sees somebody in danger, she has to go save them. When she's in Germany, he's begging her to leave. And she's like, no, I have to stay to save people. And then
Yeah.
when the Nazi is about to shoot her in the face, she's like taking her clothes off. Like, yeah, shoot me. It's fine. I
Yeah.
won't die, but you can still shoot me. And, like, what was the point of that? Why was she sacrificing herself and, like, literally taking all of her clothes off? Like, with the Nazis, she should have just run and hit him.
Mhm.
Like, if she can't be injured, if she doesn't bruise, she doesn't bleed, just run at him and hit him, and eventually she'll knock him out because he can bleed. She stood there and took off her jacket and her shoes and her socks and waited for him to shoot her. Like, she was just so passive.
Yeah, that was weird. That scene was weird. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Because she just doesn't have any motivation to do anything other than sacrifice herself to save everybody else.
Yeah. But then, so like just to piggyback off of what you're saying, her being that martyr constantly, even though Karen at times seems to chastise her for it, ultimately he comes back and says, you're doing what I can't do. Like, you're an extension of me, like my hand, right? Which also seems very parental. Again, very
Uh-huh.
parental, very it's so he does want her to be this sacrificial lamb and just
Yeah.
save everyone because he can't. He's not allowed. It's against his rules. So you do it. But yet at the same time, oh wait, this one seems a little too dangerous. Oh wait, I didn't realize that you could actually get hurt damaged from a bomb, so we're going to leave.
Mhm.
It's very oh gosh, it's just giving ick to me and the more I think about it, it made me think about your reaction to Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah.
And I said, "Is she gonna bring this up, how parental he sounds to her?"
It is very similar and very creepy and very, yeah, because he still treats her like a child all the way up until the very end.
Mhm,
And it's literally, it's not until she's like in his house, making his house her own. She's like, I finally stopped living for others and I'm living for myself.
mhm. Alright, sorry y'all, we had a technical glitch, so we're gonna just go to commercial right quick. Check out these commercials. By listening to those, you are supporting the podcast. Click around in the show notes, do all the things, give us a follow, leave us comments, like the podcast, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the podcast. We are going to continue our conversation. We are going to rate this book. Yeah, let's continue. I have a couple more points, but I'm sure you have some too. So why don't you give me your next issue?
I mean, just to keep harping on the same thing, she was the white savior of the world. You know, she was Mary. She was the Mary Sue. She had to save everybody. But, like, she was the white woman in every part of the world saving them.
That is
Especially the
true.
Underground Railroad part. Like, did she really have to be part of that?
No, she didn't have to be. Oh, that part. I thought that was interesting, but I'm like, well, okay. And then, of course, Karen shows up just in time to save her ass again. I'm like, oh, God.
Just in time to save her because he always shows up just in time to save her.
You know what? That is one of my issues because this narrative was very repetitive,
Mhm.
even through each time Anna moves to a
Yes.
new location. She heals people. She gets
Mhm.
in trouble. Karen visits. Sometimes most of the time he saves her.
Yes.
Again, no aging, moves on.
Mhm.
New place, healing, saving, Karen, next. Healing, saving, over and over and over,
Mhm. Yeah, no,
which
that's
is,
why there is
yeah.
no character growth because it took her 800 plus years to do the same thing over and over and over and over again before she finally just stopped just
Mm-hmm.
because it was his house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No,
Weird. Yeah. Weird.
that's
It
not
didn't
real
really,
growth or change. That's just the author going, okay, now I want you to change. Now I want you to be
mm-hmm.
different.
Yeah. And that even puts a bullet through like the idea of this being a character study because it's not
It's
really. Like,
not.
I think some people are relying on that, like slow development and character study style, but I don't think it's that either
No,
because of that.
there is no growth. There is like the growth needs to be consistent over the centuries. She needs to
Mhm.
change constantly. If,
Mhm.
in World War One, she refuses to leave until he finally drags her away, but in World War Two, she actively fights and like starts
Mhm.
hurting the Nazis back because she knows she won't die,
Mhm.
that would be change. But
Mhm.
just sitting there and letting them shoot her, that's not change. That's being passive and doing the exact same thing for 800 years.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like if you're 800 years old, you should speak every freaking language.
Mhm.
You should know all kind of ways to defend yourself
Uh-huh.
at 800 years old. You
Yes.
should have some tricks up your sleeve where you don't need rescuing.
You don't
You
need magic to rescue you. You can
no.
karate chop somebody
Yeah,
or
you can
throat punch them.
yes, you could throw punch them, you could be a good shot, you could be an excellent swordsman, you could
Mhm.
wield a little baby knife, I don't know, something. You're that old and you don't know how to physically defend yourself, knowing that men are the problem throughout history
Being
over and over.
attacked by dozens of men every
Yeah,
century because, she just puts herself in these situations. Not to victim blame, but, like,
yeah.
she puts herself in these situations and lets it get to that point, and it's the same thing over and over and over and over again.
I mean, one would think after a couple 100 years, you
Mhm.
would just realize, "I need to find a way to defend myself against these crazy men out here."
Yeah.
Like, why not just do that?
Why
I
not
don't
have
know.
a dagger strapped to your leg
Mhm,
or something?
mhm.
But no, it was always, "I'm so sad I'll never get to be a wife and a mother. I'm so sad I'll never get that happy ending. I just have to keep walking the world and saving children where I can."
I think Anna had an opportunity to be a real badass throughout
Mhm,
time, and the author totally chose to do the opposite. She
mhm.
made her very
Passive.
trad wife,
Trad wife. Ooh, that's a good one.
like, except for she couldn't have babies, right? But she did
Yeah.
adopt a baby, right? She did pick up a little kid,
Mhm,
and she was even taking that other kid under her wing when she was working for that one family. So she was
mhm.
like, and then the whole thing where they were, like, smuggling kids, I'm like, "What is this? What are they doing?" Like, they're smuggling, like, 300 kids over 3 years or something? I'm like, "What
Yeah.
is" I
I don't know what was happening. I really don't. She just had to save all the kids.
it was so ick. I mean, again, like, after my hairstylist gave me that different point of view, it really
Mhm.
bottomed out the story for me, like, even worse.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
I don't like it. I didn't like it the whole time, and again, like, I feel like the author technically her writing is fine, right?
Mhm,
She's very she can be atmospheric at times when she's writing different scenes. It
mhm,
could seem very poetic at times when Kieran says certain things to her, you know?
mhm.
So, there are glimpses of that, um, but it was in this package overall that was just very
Bland and boring.
bland. Yeah, bland and boring. Yes.
Like, even if they didn't fight the first in this book, it would have been really interesting if she was fighting the church or trying to save every single witch who got burned. And I thought it was
Mhm.
very interesting that she was nowhere near Salem during the Salem witch
Mm,
trials. Like,
mm.
out of all the history this author picked, she skipped over the Salem witch trials after burning her at a stake in chapter 1 or 2 in the
Yeah,
11th century,
yeah.
whatever it was. Like, when she got burned, I thought, "Oh, this is going to be her villain origin story. She's gonna try and rescue every single woman who gets burned like this." Like, I thought, again, there was so much potential, and I thought she was gonna go so
Actually,
many different routes.
that would have been a better story, and
Mhm,
actually, I think it would have been better if instead of time hopping, if we had more time in one place
mhm.
where we could have really seen, them grow separately and together,
Yes.
but it's just we were every time it's like you turn the page, more time has passed. It's like,
Mhm.
"What?" Just the
Except with
little
all the time
vignettes
that's
of
passing,
time.
she's not changing. That was the
No.
other thing, is she'd never
Yeah,
changed. So,
right.
all the time in the world could pass, and it would be the exact same story all over again.
The only thing that changed is that she was more, um, tame and accepting of Kieran's shenanigans. That's
Mm,
all.
yes.
And she was able to identify him very quickly. That's all that changed.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
At the end, she's like, "Whatever you want, Kieran. It's all good. I understand. It's
"I
fine. Let's
forgive
just do it
you."
together."
Took me 13
Yeah.
years of just sitting alone, and now I forgive you.
It's like, "You put me in solitude. Was the solitude confinement so I can get on your page?" I mean, that's after he left her on the island, but
Mhm.
then I guess he got his ass beat, so she was like, "Oh, it's okay. You left me on the island stranded. It's fine."
It's fine.
Ah. Oh, so
Ugh.
much I did not like. I could not, relate to Anna in any way, which made it bad for me.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Same.
mm,
Same. There was so much potential, and that's on me for having high hopes and thinking of all the really cool ways this could have gone, and it just did none of that.
yeah, it didn't. I'm trying to think what else I had. Okay, so I'm gonna say this, and next month is gonna be really painful for me because I read this and I listened. I did some immersive reading when I started falling asleep to try to keep myself awake. So I was listening and reading.
Mhm.
And I think the audiobook narrator did a decent job. She did a good job with what she was given.
Mhm.
Um, but that did help me. That did assist me in getting through this material. And I ultimately wish I will never do this again. I will make sure there's an audiobook available for every book in that series before we pick it.
Oh.
So now next month for book 2, the audio doesn't come out till July,
Oh,
end of
no.
July. So I'm stuck having to read this thing, which is, I ultimately said I wanted to read more, get back, but it's going to force my hand. But I know I have to start really, really early because I don't anticipate it changing. I don't anticipate
Mm-mm.
the light switch is going to flip and suddenly it's going to get good.
No.
Um, so I already know I'm going to start this literally on the first of the month because I'm going to have to really piecemeal it out because it's going
Mhm.
to be hard without audio to support me. So, yeah, going forward, I will never, y'all, and I'm sorry if you're an audiobook person and you're on this journey, I'm sorry because I should know better. I should have checked it first. I didn't, and we had already picked it and it was underway. And then I was like, F me,
Oh,
man.
no.
It's hurting me just as much as it's hurting you. So I will never do that again because that is what holds me up when I don't like the book.
Mhm.
If nothing else, I can listen to the audio while I'm doing other things, or like
Mhm.
sometimes it will keep me more alert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
absolutely,
will
yeah.
prop me up if I don't like the book. And I don't have it for next month. So old
Ugh,
school reading this book is going to be like, you
painful.
know,
What
yeah,
I
it's going to
went
be
through reading
painful.
it, I just sat here and read it. It was
Yeah, it's
bad.
gonna be painful. It's gonna be like just
Mhm.
no bueno.
At least there is a bad guy in the next book that we have to fight, so there should, in theory, be an actual plot.
In theory,
In
yes.
theory.
He could also not show up to the last 20% of the book,
Oh my
so
god. Maybe they have to go to Vietnam to protest the war and save people, and then
yeah, so
what
let's
else
see
would
what
they
else
do?
happened since then. So Vietnam happened, Iraq happened,
Oh,
what else
yeah.
happened? Um,
I mean, the whole war in Middle East. Are they
yeah,
gonna try and stop 9/11 or just go save people afterward?
maybe she'll even go deal with some of the wars in Africa once. Maybe she'll do that.
Mm,
They have those wars.
mhm.
I'm trying to think what else could yeah, I mean, unless she's gonna drop that whole facade altogether because they decided to try to do something together now. Maybe they're not even gonna do that anymore.
They're just sitting there with their bees for half the book.
I don't know.
God, that would
Take
be
some more
so
vacations
bad.
on a beach. I don't know.
That would be so bad.
Go back to New York and stroll through Central Park or something.
And
I
then
don't know.
9/11 happens, and then they
Yeah,
can
and then
save
9/11
people.
happens. Right. I'm a
Oh
nurse.
my
I can
god.
help.
Oh my god. It was just
Yeah.
there was nothing. Like,
Yeah.
there was no goal. No character had a goal. No
Mhm.
character was actively, like, working towards something. There was
Yeah.
just, "Oh, I'm gonna be in this spot and help these people," and, "Oh, I'm gonna be in this spot and help these people," and, "Oh, now I'm gonna be in this spot and help these people because I'm a white savior."
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. I don't know. What is this author? What else does she write? Are you
I don't know.
familiar with her at all?
I am not, no, this was new. New to
Okay.
me.
Let me just look and see if she's written any other kind of books because I'm really curious now. She goes by two names on this book. It has R. Retta and then Rochelle Retta. So
Mhm.
I don't know. And by the way, this book has obviously been published several times over. They changed the name at some point. They
Mhm.
changed because at first it was called Peaches and Honey. Now it's These Immortal Truths with the duology being called Peaches and Honey. Um, and I think maybe when she republished it with Tor, probably she changed the name from Aretta to Rochelle Retta.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, let's see, what else? Nope, just these two. That's it. That's all she's got
That's
under
it?
Rochelle. Yeah, just
Ugh.
these two. We should not have done this. This
We
was a
should
bad
not.
idea.
I'm sorry. I
Um,
was so hopeful, and I should always know that when I'm this hopeful, they never live up to my potential.
well, I mean, she does have a cute dog on her Goodreads photo. Oh, cute
Oh,
dog.
dogs.
Let's see. This is her bio. Lives in Northern California with her husband and young son. When she isn't agonizing over word choices, she enjoys telling the dog how handsome he is and sitting in on the nightly therapy sessions the cat so generously provides for her.
The cat is providing for the dog or for
For her, I
Rochelle?
guess. I guess the cat gives her some kind of therapy
Therapy.
sessions?
Okay.
I don't know. I whatever. I don't know. Yeah, we tried. But
We
we're stuck. We're stuck
There's just
because
one more book, and
we
then we're
don't give
done.
up.
No.
I know we don't give up. And again, and I know at least one person from our usual crew liked this book. So sorry you had to hear us bitch about this book. So sorry, girl. But to be fair, she did say, let me pull up Discord right quick. And you guys can be in our Discord too. If you join us on book clubs, you'll have
Mhm.
access to the Discord. So you get to see all this stuff real time as it's happening. So let's go to the little monthly book chat for this. Okay, so Nicole, shout out to Nicole. She said, "So I just finished it and I really, really, really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure everyone will. I'm actually excited for the second book next month. I'm very happy for you, Nikki.
Yes.
But this was unusual for me. And I
Yeah.
did say, I don't know. At the time, I replied to Nikki at this point, like, I don't know what to think about it. That was before I had time to sit with it. After I just finished it, I really didn't
Mhm.
know what to think. I
Mhm.
literally was a blank slate. I was like, well, I mean, it's not the worst thing I ever read, but it wasn't good either.
Yeah. No, it's well written in the sense that, like, she knows how to write. She knows how to write a
Mhm,
very pretty sentence, and she's obviously studied literature at some point. Like, she knows how to write, but there's just
mhm,
nothing else to it. Like, I
mhm,
would define this as literary fiction instead of genre fiction,
mhm.
because
I agree.
what else, like, literary can be this boring. Genre
Yeah,
needs to have
yeah.
more plot. Genre needs to have more character development. Literary gets to be just
This.
pretty sentences. Yeah.
Yeah, this was literary fantasy, I guess.
Mhm.
Or literary fiction with a dash of fantasy because
Yeah.
the fantasy isn't even, I mean, it's overarching, obviously, because you are talking about immortal beings, but it's not like even at the forefront of the story, even though that's the overarching
Yeah.
thing, if that makes sense. Like, we don't
She's
see like the immortal stuff happening like constantly all the time that makes it, ooh, I don't
No,
know.
Anna's so entrenched in the human history and the
Yeah.
human world, and she, again, still acts like that 16-year-old, Even though she's
Mhm.
800 something years old, she still has that same mentality.
She was
And so, like,
16?
there's no growth. There's no
No.
change in her.
Actually, she seems really bratty sometimes as well.
Mhm.
Like, she just wants what she wants, like,
And
she doesn't
doesn't
wanna
care what
care to
anybody
save
else
the
does
person.
or
Yeah, I don't
wants
care.
or
Yeah,
like,
and I
leaving
get
her
it.
son on his wedding day, and she's just like, "Yeah, I have to
That
leave
was
you.
so
I'm out."
weird. Like, actually, you didn't, though. You
No, she
actually didn't.
didn't. She could have
Yeah.
stayed.
She coulda stayed at least 5 or 10 years. I
Mhm.
mean, you can look young for a long time.
Or he was gonna move with her. They could have moved to a
Yeah,
different town.
yep.
She didn't
He said
have to
that they would
leave.
go.
Mhm.
No.
But
I
she had
think
to
she
be the
was just being
martyr,
selfish.
and so
She
yes.
was being selfish. She didn't want to see her child die. She didn't wanna see outliving her kid. I think that's
Mm-mm.
what it was, so it was pretty selfish.
Very
But if that's the
selfish.
case, don't have a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like she got where she needed to go. She shoulda gave him to the orphanage or to another family
Mhm.
once they were stable, if that's what she wanted to do.
Mhm.
'Cause that was very rude.
Yeah.
A and then she became like this story that the family just passed down.
Mhm.
Like, "Oh, well, we heard our great-grandmother, our grandmother, is immortal. Ah, oh,
Mhm.
she finally showed up." I'm like, "That was oh my gosh."
It was so weird and pointless. And
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna show up again. Like, what was the point of having him if, like, the family legacy doesn't show up 500, 800 years later to be like, "You're our great grandma, we believe in you."
Yeah. I don't know. It's 800 years. It would be so far removed
So far
from the
removed.
beginning of
Mhm.
that journey. I don't even know if she could find unless she was keeping track the whole time, which we know she wasn't.
She wasn't. So, no, like, there was no point
Yeah.
other than showing her in pain,
Mhm.
which
Which
is
we were meh.
not not a
I am
plot. It is not a plot or
I'm
character growth.
so sad about
Mhm.
next month. I'm already dreading it. Um, but and it's like I don't wanna be that negative because it could be better, but I just don't wanna even try to fix my mouth to say that it will because there's no guarantee that it will. It's more likely that it's gonna be more of the same.
Mhm.
That's more likely than suddenly, oh, the plot kicks into gear and the romance kicks it up a notch.
Well, I've given up on the romance. There's just gonna be whatever.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that at least now that we know about the first and we know, oh, fear is for everybody, that, like,
Mhm.
there will be some more meat to the story.
Mhm.
Whether it's just a chicken bone or a steak will be determined next week, but or next month.
Do you
Um,
think we'll see Ira or Silas again?
Probably just
Mhm.
because, like, she made sure to show them multiple times throughout the book,
Mhm.
but I don't
Maybe
know.
we'll meet some more immortals. I mean, there's not that many of them, but obviously it's a community of them.
Mhm. There's gotta be somebody who also hates the first and wants to help them defeat him.
Yeah. So probably Ira and Silas will come to their
Mhm.
backing. Um, and it sounds like Ira could be Kieran's mother or mother-like figure. It was kind of
Yeah.
implied. It was implied that, but
Mhm.
maybe not blood mother, but
Yeah. But why does
I
she have to have the mother role? Like, why do we have to
yeah.
have these set roles for these immortals? Why can't they be whatever they wanna be?
Yeah. I guess technically they can. Can they all shift and change their looks like Kieran can?
I don't think so. Well, Silas did, right?
Mhm, mhm. He did. I think he did.
I think he did too. Um, Ira, she was the same the whole time, so probably not
Yeah.
her.
Who was tagged as Baba Yaga. Like, "Okay, I guess, you're gonna
It's
skip through the woods to
weird,
her
but
house and eat."
okay.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, it could be a gingerbread house, I guess." So weird. I don't know. It's so weird. It's just a
It's
bunch of like ingredients that just tossed into a
mhm,
story, and none of it really hit. None of it really connected, and it was just an overall miss for me.
same, same, absolutely same.
Mm. All right, I think we should rate it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Do you want to go first? You know the rules. No halves.
I uh, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. The writing itself is decent, and this is not the worst thing we've ever read, but it was a miss on every single level for me.
Yeah.
So,
I am gonna co-sign on that. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5.
mhm,
The only thing that's making it a 2 is the fact that um it's an interesting premise.
mhm,
It's something that I haven't read. And again, potential. The potential was there. And like you said, the author knows how to write. She knows how to make a technically correct book.
yes.
Is the feelings there? Is everything else there? Depends on who you ask. But so yeah, so we're both rating that 2 out of 5.
Yep,
Mm, fun times. We will be back here whether we want to or not. We will be back here next month to talk about book 2, which is, what is this thing called? Hold on. Peaches and Honey 2 is called Pits and well, actually it's not. It's called These Godly Lies, but the subtext is Pits and Poison. So it's Peaches and Honey 2, but it's Pits and Poison, These Godly Lies, which is another confusing thing. On
mhm,
Amazon, it says These Godly Lies. On Goodreads, it says Pits and Poison, These Godly Lies. Um, Whatever. I think they couldn't decide what they wanted to do with this name, and the author kept changing it,
yeah, that's weird.
which also makes it not interesting. It's more confusing than anything. And so the first book, just out of heads up for everyone, the first book only has 13,804 ratings right now. And the second book has 5,941 ratings of right now. So more than 50% of the ratings fell off for book 2.
Mhm,
While the ratings are high, both of these are 4.24 out of 5 on Goodreads. Ironically, they're the same. That's kind of strange.
yeah,
But they're the same rating right now today with less than 50% of the ratings coming in for book 2. So I think it's going to be, like that's reinforces that it's going to be more of the same, because I think the
mhm,
people who liked what they liked in book 1 are getting
went
more
back.
of what they liked
Yep,
in book 2, and they're the ones that hanged on, and everyone else that didn't really like book 1, they fell off.
yep, yep.
So that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, we do have an after show today for those of you that are listening on YouTube or Spotify or wherever, Apple Podcasts. If you want to see the after show, you'll need to head on over to Patreon and sign up, and then you'll have access that way. And if you're on Spotify, you can then see it that way as well, as long as you link your 2 accounts together. If you link your Patreon and your Spotify, you can see it over there as well. So that's kind of cool. I think that's it. Anything else, Casey?
That's it for me.
Okay, yeah, this has been a fun conversation. Thanks for listening to the entire thing. We appreciate you for doing that. And as always, keep your TBR high and your spoilers tagged. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Did you enjoy today's episode? If so, please head over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave a positive 5-star review. It's a simple action that makes a big difference. You can also like this episode on your favorite podcast player or share it with your fellow bookworm friends on social media. Joining the Shelf Addiction Patreon family is another way to support us. For as little as $2 a month, you can help our team create even more amazing bookish content. If Patreon isn't your thing, Consider becoming a supporter on the Spreaker app for just $5 a month and gain access to exclusive audio-only content. You can find me everywhere, including Instagram, X, and TikTok under the handle Shelf Addiction. Join our book club of the same name on the book club's website and app, where we discuss all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. Thanks for tuning in.